The United stand. Ollie's at. No, it's way too soon for that. It's way too soon for that. But it is a 3-1 win for Manchester United, and it's a nice feeling to know that tonight, match of the day, especially that first half, we've got something to watch that was actually exciting. And look, you know what? 100%, it's Norwich City, and they are shit. I've got to say that. I've got to admit it. I've got to accept it, and I think everybody needs to accept it. Said it in the preview. Perfect game for Manchester United. Defensively awful, and it was the perfect game for United because defensively we're good and we're very good on the break. So it sets us up in a way that's really that gave us the opportunity to win it. But having said that, you've got to say whether it's tiny steps, whether it's one step forward before another massive step backwards. We've gone from 15th to 7th in the Premier League, and that's a big positive, of course. To win a game of football is a big positive as well. But to me, look, smash a like on the video if Anthony Martial was your man of the match, because there were people, I thought Wan-Bissaka was very good. I thought Scott McTominay was very, very good as well. But Martial, is it a coincidence that Martial comes into the team and Manchester United suddenly look a hell of a lot better? And it's not a coincidence. We're not a one-man team. It's not that. It's just that when teams play against Rashford and James, they know they've got to deal with Rashford and James. When Martial comes in, they're dealing with a player that's better than Rashford and James, and they've got to deal with Rashford and James as well. So, absolutely superb. I thought Martial makes such a big difference to Manchester United. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out with some very, very silly comments over the last couple of weeks. But the one that came out yesterday about how good Anthony Martial is and how well he's thought of within the club, absolutely spot on. He makes a big difference. He makes us a bigger threat. And I think with United, we know we defend well. We know the midfield is a little bit weak. But when you've got that front three, it will scare people. It will cause people problems. I don't think it's going to give Man City and Liverpool nightmares, or maybe not even a Spurs, Chelsea or Arsenal. But Norwich, who are basically going straight back to the Championship because they're crap, perfect game for us. But you've got to go and win the game. You've got to go and win the game, and that's what Manchester United did. And Martial, certainly for me, was man of the match. I thought the third goal, and Rashford plays better with Martial. Let's not forget. When we do the player ratings in a minute, we're not going to give Marcus Rashford a 4 or a 5, which we've been giving him over the last 8 months. That's probably, in fairness, Rashford's best game for United in 8 months. And that will get low-key forgotten because of the fact that we've won away. Ollie played on the attack in the first half. Martial was back. That's Rashford's best performance in a United shirt, and we should not paper over that, and we should not ignore that, because I like Rashford. I don't believe he's Trashford. I don't believe he's the B-Tech Danny Welbeck. I actually think there's a good player in Marcus Rashford, and I thought today we saw that. And I think, myself included and every United fan has quite rightly been giving Rashford a lot of stick lately. But today, very, very good. And I think Rashford plays better when the pressure's not on him. He can express himself. And I think today he had Martial and he had Dan James to share the load with. But that goal, the third goal, he took his goal very well. Brilliant ball by Dan James. He took his goal very well. But the Martial goal, I think it went Rashford, Martial goal. It reminded me of a goal that Manchester United scored. It was 3-3 in Barcelona in '99, and Cole and York did an interchange between each other. And I was like, ooh, I like that. I want to see more of that. So, yeah, I thought that Martial makes such a difference to the team. Rashford looked a lot better. Wan-Bissaka was superb. McTominay and Fred were good. I think Pereira drifted a bit in the second half, but he started off quite well. And I was asked this question on the watch-along, so I'll ask it you now. Where does Paul Pogba come into that team? When Pogba's fit, where does Pogba come in? And I think, to me, and I'm not saying that Pereira, McTominay or Fred played bad. They didn't play bad today. But you've got to find a place for Paul Pogba. I like that formation of the 4-3-3. I think it wasn't quite, but it's the closest he's been to the first 3 months in a long time as well. And I want to talk about Ollie out in a moment because I think it's important. And I think it's important of where you rank that result. But for me, I would like to see Paul Pogba come into the Pereira role. I would like to keep Fred and McTominay until we buy a midfielder in the summer or in January. I would like to see Pogba in the Pereira role with the licence to be more creative with those three players ahead of him. I'd love to see Paul Pogba with that freedom in that position. And that's nothing against Pereira. I think Pereira's done very, very well for United, but Pogba would go into that position for me as well. Somebody just said flip-flop in the live comments. I'm very interested by this because I've never been Ollie out, so I don't know how I can flip-flop when I've never been Ollie out. What I said personally is that Do I think Ollie's going to be a success long term? No. But do I want to sack him? No. I felt that there was more of a story to be told. I'll let you into a conversation I had with Drawty about 3 weeks ago, and I said, if Ollie's going to be sacked, it won't be now anyway. You know, you look at Mourinho, he didn't go till Christmas. We're still 2 months away from Christmas. There's still a story to be told with Ollie. Today, I said before the game, if we lost against Norwich, I'd probably be Ollie out, because you can't be losing to shit like Norwich and being near the relegation zone. We're not that bad. And I predicted we would win, and I predicted 3-1, so fair play. But I'm not Ollie out. I haven't been Ollie out. But what I would say about today is, if you are an Ollie outer, you are a flip-flop if you change on that result. You can't change because United have beaten Norwich 3-1 at Norwich. I mean, Villa beat them 5-1, and Villa are going to be a relegation battling team. So I don't think many people will change their opinion on Ollie just because of one game. What they will say is, you should be playing like that every week instead of playing so negative. Let's see what you can do over the next few weeks. For me, the Bournemouth game next Saturday lunchtime is exactly the same as this Norwich game. He's got to go and win it. And then you beat Brighton, and then you've got 9 points from 3 games. In relation to the league, we're into 7th now. We're 3 points behind Arsenal. 3 points behind Arsenal. And how have we managed to do that? Because other teams aren't doing as well as us. Unfortunately, we're 7 points off 4th, but we just got to start winning games now. That's a small step. It's a positive step. It was great to see Martial back. It was great to see the whole team respond like that. And it's going to be very interesting to do the player ratings in a minute. But what I would say is, you've got to be very, very careful. You've got to be very, very careful about where you go as a United fan after a result like that. Because contextually, I will tell you now, I confidently predicted on the preview, as people will have seen, that United will beat Norwich. They're defensively awful. And I believe we've got a good defence. So straight away I thought, at 2-0 at half-time, I knew it was over. We're not going to concede 2 goals against them. And against that defence, I always fancied we could score. I think second half, if I'm being critical, I think we went a little bit deep and went to hit them on the break. And really, we should have just gone toe-to-toe and won 5 or 6-0. But we missed 2 penalties as well. So we should have at least equalled what Villa did to them a couple of weeks ago, 5-1. And I think Norwich will go down. I think they're probably the worst team we've played this season, and we played them at exactly the right time, because Partizan Belgrade on Thursday, I stand by what I said, the most embarrassing poor performance we've seen under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 3 days later, after an away game, only a short break as well, we're there for the taking. We played on Thursday night, we're there for the taking. Norwich, nothing. Offered us nothing. People talking about Man City, they beat Man City. It's a one-off. Who else have they beaten? People talking about Pookie. He's a Poundland Harry Kane. Like, it was an easy work game for United. Looking forward to Chelsea on Wednesday. That's going to be a real test. I know we'll make some changes, but that's a test. But we've got to beat Bournemouth next week, and let's get some momentum going. That's what it is. For United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be successful, it can't just be beat Norwich and then go and draw at Bournemouth and scrape a win at home to Brighton and get beat by Chelsea. That can't be what happens. You've got to beat Norwich and take some momentum. We need to go and win 8 out of our next 10 Premier League games. That's the sort of run we've got to go on to get back into the race for top 4. But we've got through the Europa League group. We're looking a little bit better with Martial now. Couple of signings in January. Best case scenario, we might get something out of this season. Worst case scenario, we've just beaten a shit team. Next week we'll go and get beat by a better team. So, you know, you've got to take it with a context. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt. But the reality is, he could have gone to Norwich today and played 3 at the back. There were some people saying, why didn't he play 3 at the back? And the reality is, I feared he would, and he didn't. He went on the front foot. And maybe what Leicester did on Friday night, and maybe what Chelsea did, sort of prompted Ollie to realise, look, Brendan Rodgers and Frank Lampard have been in the job less than I've been in it. They've got clear philosophies, and I'm starting to feel the pressure now. I've got to go and do it. And in the first half, there is no doubt about it, United played on the front foot. It wasn't counter-attacking football, which is what we've played all season. We went on the front foot and we attacked them. And look, Tim Krul was miles off the line. He may as well have been on the 6-yard box for the penalty. He was miles off his line, and they should have both been retaken. But the reality is, we should have scored those. Martial could have a hat-trick tonight. He missed a header in the first half from about 4 yards out. Should have scored it. He missed another chance where he was one-on-one in the second half. Should have scored it. But his goal he scored was the best of the lot. And, you know, I'm not saying that in a negative way that Martial should have had a hat-trick. I'm saying it in a positive way that wow, Martial comes back. I think as well, we probably had more shots on target in that game than we've had all season. Like, collectively, everything went right for United today. The passing, the chance creation. We've just got to take that momentum into the Bournemouth game on Saturday, because hopefully Pogba's back for that and United start to be a strong team. Top 4 isn't actually gone, is it, really? If we can go and win some games, top 4's not gone. And Ollie lives to fight another day. And I think, I think even deep down, all the Ollie outers would love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be a success. I want him to be a success. I'm sure we all want him to be a success. It's just that lack of trust as to whether he really is good enough, which we're going to find out. Bit of patience, we're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out. But what I'll say is, and I said this about Mourinho before I did go Mourinho out, I did say the easiest thing for United is that, and us as fans, is that Ollie works. Because if you think about it, getting rid of another manager, spending money on a new manager who's going to come in and not like some of the players we've got, the least hassle for United and the least upheaval and the quickest way back to the top is if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right person and we work our way back. But we'll have to wait and see. But today was good. I'd watch it back on Match of the Day too. I'm looking forward to it, especially that first half. Both penalties as well, so that was good. But I'm happy. As I say, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be moaning. I don't want to be like Arsenal fans are going to be tonight because they didn't beat Crystal Palace. I actually feel I've forgotten what it feels like to be like this. I've definitely forgotten what it feels like to play well and win away. That's one of our best performances under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's a bit sad to say that. I'm trying to cater for both sides here because I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the result. I thought Rashford and Martial and so many players played well, and they're all positives, and that's what we want. I'm also a little bit sad that I'm saying that about a team as bad as Norwich. I want to go and see that performance against a better team, but that's hopefully going to come in the future. Today, a lot of United fans said we're going to lose. A lot of fans thought we were going to lose today. A lot of people felt it might be a draw. We've gone and got what I expected. And that's the second week in a row I've got it absolutely right. I said Liverpool and United would be a draw. And I said that we would win today. And I even got the score prediction right. So I don't know what I'm going to say about Bournemouth. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm very, very happy with it. Very happy with it. Please do smash a like on the video, though, if Martial was your man of the match. Because I thought Anthony Martial makes such a difference, and I think Martial's more important, and this might be controversial, I think Martial's more important to us than Paul Pogba, because that midfield today was fine. I think that midfield would get dominated by better teams, but that midfield was fine, and that midfield was fine against Liverpool. It can do a job. It needs reinforcements, but Pogba's probably going to be gone in the summer anyway. So, and Pogba's inconsistent. We know that. And I can't wait for Pogba to be back, but I don't think Pogba's as important as Martial is, because Martial comes in and it gives more to Rashford and James. I think Rashford and James feel the pressure when they haven't got Martial, because it's not a fair load, and they struggle. Martial comes back and suddenly, be very interesting to see how that develops if they can all stay fit over the next few weeks. The Ryan Giggs interview will be up on a YouTube channel tomorrow, Mazza Gurdwara. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, you get your notifications on. That video will be a lot better now Manchester United have won today. I think if we'd lost, that video wouldn't have gone down as well. But that video worked really well tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe for that. But let's do the player ratings. Always enjoy doing this part of the show. David De Gea, I'm going to give a 6. Nothing wrong with a 6 for David De Gea, by the way. Oh, what the bloody hell's going wrong here? Right. I don't know what's going on. What's going on? We don't know this when it's live. Right. That's playing up. It's been one of those days. Smash a like on the video, because this started half an hour before kickoff and has continued for the last 3 hours. Shove it up your arse. That ain't it. It's pissed me off, technology today. Right, I will just go through it verbally. I would give David De Gea a 6 out of 10. I thought that he didn't really have a lot to do today. He was very pissed off to concede a goal late on. And if we're nitpicking, which we shouldn't do because we've won away from home, we shouldn't have conceded a goal. We should have kept a clean sheet. But yeah, De Gea was a 6. He didn't really have anything to do. Wan-Bissaka, I'll give him an 8. I thought he was brilliant today. He deserved the yellow card. That was a little bit rash. But I think with Wan-Bissaka, you've just... I remember this with Gary Neville in his prime. You've just got total confidence that no one's going to beat him. So, 8. Ashley Young on the other side, is totally different. I've got no confidence in Ashley Young. When he makes a tackle, I just want to cheer and go, well done, lad, well done, lad. But I don't think Young was terrible today. I'd give him an average 6. I thought Maguire and Lindelof, I'll give him a 6. I'm not going to give him any higher than that. They really weren't tested, but Pukki still managed to get a couple of chances. So I think average. I think most of the defence was just an average day. I don't think they had a lot to do, but I thought Wan-Bissaka was fantastic. Weirdly, they tried to get at Wan-Bissaka quite a lot, which is, I think, stupid. They should have got at Young more. I thought Fred and McTominay, I'd give them both a collective 7. I thought they were both really good. I'd probably push McTominay up to an 8 because of the goal, actually. Both played well today. Hard to judge them because I think, there is this perception that they're playing brilliantly at the moment, and you've got to remember that they both played against Partizan Belgrade and they were poor. We do get bypassed in the midfield a lot, but they're developing, and I think the most important thing was Fred, is what we said, is that he needs to play week in, week out, and that's happening now. So let's just see whether Fred. I think the jury's out with Fred, isn't it? It's like, will he be good enough? Won't he be good enough? But you've got to play him, and he is playing at the moment. So I applaud that. And as I said during the game, look, Fred does make mistakes, but he's quick and he's tenacious, and Matic isn't. So I would play Fred all the time. So I'd give Fred a 7 and McTominay an 8. Pereira, I'd give a 7. I thought Pereira on the set pieces. I thought as a midfield 3, they did well. And I think those as a midfield 3, playing as a mid-table team in the Premier League would be good. The question is, are they good enough to be a top 4 midfield? And I don't think all 3 of them will be. It's a question about who is going to be. But Pereira played well in the first half, and I think he fell off a little bit in the second half, so I'd give him a 7. Rashford, I'd give an 8. I'd give Marcus Rashford an 8. I thought that he did really well. Best performance from Rashford in the last 8 months. I probably would normally give him a 7, but as a confidence booster and just an appreciation for a lad who loves the club and has always tried hard but has been really bad for the last few months, I thought today was the best Rashford's played since January. I thought he played really well. He got his goal. He played really well, Rashford, so I'd give him an 8. Dan James, 7. I thought Dan James was brilliant in the first half but faded in the second half like Pereira, so I'd give him a 7. And Marcus Rashford, could you give Anthony Martial, could you give him a 9? I wouldn't give him a 9 because of the chances he missed. I'd give Martial an 8, but he was my man of the match, so an 8.5. I think if he'd scored the chances he had, Martial, he would have been a 9. Yeah, James crossing into the box seems to be improving, says Shane Stewart. There is room for improvement for Manchester United, but I thought what impressed me the most is when I look at that team on the left is he could have played Mata today, he could have played Lingard today, and he played Pereira. So I applaud Ollie for that, and I want to give Ollie a score out of 10. I'd give Ollie an 8 as well. Of course, there will be people saying, oh, look at United fans going mad because they've beaten Norwich, who are shit. And I accept Norwich are not a very good team, and I accept they're a relegation team, and I accept we probably should have got 5 or 6. But for where we've been over the last few weeks, and for what Ollie's been doing over the last few weeks, playing defensively and trying to counter-attack teams like Newcastle. You look at the contrast of Newcastle away and Norwich away. We've gone at it in the right way in that first half and we got the game won. Second half, I mean, look, I tell you what as well, just to cater for the Ollie outers, just to give them a little bit, because I know they won't be happy. Second half, you've got to say again, Ollie, we seem to drop off in second halves, and we dropped off a bit today. I thought in the second half, the mentality wasn't right. And I think Ollie needs to work on that a bit, because whatever's going in the dressing room, we seem to drop off in second halves. We did it against Liverpool, West Ham definitely, Southampton, Newcastle, Wolves, Palace, Partizan Belgrade. Second half, we seem to come out and be a worse team. And I think today we did. I think if that had been 1-0 at half time, we probably would have drawn that game. Fortunately, we got that second goal, because we definitely dropped off in the second half and started playing this counter-attacking stuff, which is okay when you're 2-0 and we were comfortable, but he's got to sort that out a little bit in the second half as well. But it was Yona says you can't beat us. We're a Chelsea, and he's a Chelsea fan. I think we might want to check the opening game of the season. As for the Carabao Cup on Wednesday, I look forward to it. Roll it on. I don't expect Manchester United to get anything against Chelsea on Wednesday, but then again, going into a game with no expectations, and let's see what we can take from this. I think he's got to mix the team up. I think he's got to play some of the youth in it as well. So we'll see how we go. But I've got to be honest with you, the Carabao Cup only interests me because if we win it, we're in the Europa League. And I tell you what, this time last week, I was like, we're going to finish mid-table, we're not going to win any cups, and we won't be in Europe next season. My mindset at the moment is I want to get in the top 4. I think that's what we should be trying to do. But I think we've got to try and also we've got to also try and get this ensure that we're in Europe by some means next season. We've got to do that. So the Carabao Cup is important on Wednesday night. Of course it is. I think we're underdogs in it, but I've got to be honest. We've just won a Premier League game, and I'm more thinking about Bournemouth next Saturday lunchtime, and I'm excited about that. I'm thinking if we can go into that Bournemouth game like we did in the first half against Norwich, and if we go to Bournemouth and win, and Bournemouth, look, they're not on a great run, but they don't concede many goals. They're a hard team to beat. They're a better team than Norwich. This for United at the moment could be perfect. Partizan Belgrade were awful, but we won. Norwich are awful, and we won convincingly. 2 good wins, both away from home. Momentum, confidence. Let's see what we do against Bournemouth next week. Digital De Silva says, nah, bench Pogba, Pereira, Fred and McTominay are far more aggressive and hard-working than Pogba. Interesting. Mazar Gudrara says, I've done that one. At least Martial is getting in the right position, says Joseph Finch. Another reason my Martial deserves man of the match, actually, is, all right, he scored a good goal, missed a penalty, could have scored a couple more. But I spoke about this in the first 3 games of the season. Martial, hold-up play and movement off the ball this season is A-class. What he's doing off the ball as a number 9 makes such a difference for people like Rashford and James. He creates so much space with his runs, his hold-up play. That side of his game was superb as well. So smash a like. Martial was superb today. William Smith's hats off to the goalkeeper for Norwich. Saved them from being embarrassed. Yes, he did. RV777 says, James Garner moves like De Jong, exciting player. Kyle Layton, do you think we will get top 4 should score penalties? Says Kyle Layton. I don't want to take this result anything other than what it is. A positive, good, well-timed, been waiting for it for a long time as well, result. To start saying we're going to get top 4, to start saying we can do this, that and the other would be really stupid and naive. We don't know how good that performance is because we know how bad Norwich are. We need to take that performance and do it against the better side. So I'm not going to talk about top 4 because we could lose to Bournemouth and be back mid-table this time next week. So we've just got to take it for what it is. Really, really excited by it. Positive, but I'm not going to start making predictions off it because we just don't know how good they were. We need to work on the penalties, says 009 Rosh. Important to not forget we are as a club. It was only Norwich, says Aidan G. Still have a lot to do on the pitch before we start getting hyped and excited. I think that's fair enough. Thanks for the contribution, Carl Layton. Kevin Chilakungu says, oh, how much I've missed you, Martial. Exactly. Iron Singh, absolutely spot on scoreline prediction mark. However, pathetic time to concede while 2 of their players were struggling. Should be 4-0, not 3-0, 3-1. Awful. Thanks everybody for your contributions, and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. I can see that the fan cams are starting to come in, so I better get off air and start putting those up for you. But yeah, like I say, subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Ryan Giggs' interview's coming up tomorrow. Fan cams are going to be coming up very, very soon as well. Martial's back. United have won. We can watch Match of the Day 2 tonight. And you know what? You know what as well? We were entertained today. Regardless of the opposition, we weren't bored. I mean, somebody said, what if we win 1-0 with a scrappy penalty but play crap? Well, we didn't. We actually, Norwich are not good, but we did entertain today. So that's a positive. Thanks everyone for watching. The fan cams are coming up for you very soon. Interested to see what the fans are saying outside the ground. We've not had any positivity for a while, so I'm looking forward to that. And I will speak to you all very, 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 very soon. Ryan Giggs' interview is going up tomorrow, so subscribe and get your notifications on because I'm not going to tell you what time it's going to come up and you'll want to see it first. See you soon.